Welcome back to my recording of the Berlin apartment. This is video 2. I expect to finish it in this one. It's a kind of fast moving game, so it's hard to talk through it. They keep interrupting me with their dialogue. It is very dialogue heavy, and this could be one reason there's not more people playing it online, because you create some space. You do get interrupted all the time. Even if you pick a point where they're no longer talking, they will jump in and nudge you to keep you moving, which is fine when you're just playing it. In fact, that's kind of helpful. So here I am. We have been to 1943 and to 1989.
Tiles, tiles, tiles.
And I feel like maybe we were meant to go to 1945 third, because I do ponder on this little girl's question. What was her name? Dulish? Whatever this girl's name is. Her question to her father, as in, why did the mum lie? I am not really sure what that's referring to. Like, there's a dozen things it could be referring to, but I don't know what it is.
Tiles.
The one thing that I'm wondering if it is referring to could be something you wouldn't know until after you've seen the next time period. So I'm wondering if maybe I did them out of order? It's hard to know. Right, so what I did want to look at here was, yes, over there. Don't know where I'm going to see it the best. Can't open that one. Over there is a leave no one behind sign, which is what you see out the kitchen window, like out the broken kitchen window, the one that Magna would have used. So that's definitely a different one. Leave no one behind.
Tiles, tiles, tiles.
I've put this cup of tea here and I can't find a good spot for it because I don't have much space on this desk. It does seem like her dad's got very good at having her here. I mean, look at all this. Look how elaborate this is. I mean, maybe she did this herself.
That's got to be a toad lily.
But there's all this stuff here set up for her to play while he does his work. Nothing, no change there, still a bit hard to see in. And we now know that there was a cupboard there because it was a broken cupboard from the end. That's different rubble. When Collier was there, that rubble wasn't in that spot. This is where the fire stove thing was over there, so that's come out. Yes, so there's that leave no one behind sign, but it's on a different building. Oh, we could almost... I'd never actually managed...
Tiles, tiles.
Such a good glimpse down there. Right. That's the trouble, because she's little. She's little, so she can't see it far enough out to be... Okay, so he said get the hammer. Let's get the hammer.
I want to hammer something.
Tiles. Hammer them off the walls. They all need to...
It wouldn't be so boring if there were other kids here.
Not right now, sorry.
How hard it must be for him to do his work with her being like that. I mean, when we were little, my sister and I, like, our parents just worked. And when we were too young for school, we'd just spend all day where they worked, playing quietly so that we didn't interrupt. And when we did go to school, we would come home and go to their workplace. And I'm so glad it was like nowadays you can't do that. Very few workplaces let you take children if you're just an employee. But it was very, very common when I was a child back where I lived. But then again, she's on her own, and I had a sibling. my sibling was much younger, but I
Tiles,
did have one.
tiles, tiles.
And she's certainly done a lot of playing here. It's a very nice setup with the bowls and the textures and the doll's house on the wall. Right. This is sort of cool wallpaper. It looks like wallpaper for a children's room, but I feel like this couldn't ever have been anything but a bathroom. Surely. Maybe it could have.
Tiles, tiles, tiles.
And I'd just kind of like to see what the patterns look like. I got a an achievement once for breaking 100 tiles. Alright, let's carry on to the next room.
Tiles, tiles, tiles.
Which has different wallpaper. I presume that's wallpaper. Different images? Like, would you put tiles over wallpaper? I don't suppose you would. Maybe. At whatever point these flats were set up to be separate flats.
Tiles, tiles, tiles.
You can do this absolutely forever and think, what on earth am I meant to find here? But they
completely.
do give you these bits of clues.
Dad!
What is it?
Look, a photo. I found it. There's a year on it. 1933.
That's interesting. I think only very few people had cameras back then.
So, a photographer hid it here.
Yeah, maybe. But 1933? That wasn't a good time.
Huh? How come? They had enormous apartments.
1933 wasn't like any other year in Germany.
Tell me.
It'll take a while.
That doesn't matter, Dad.
I will miss you, my little friend. You know that I am a man of few words. Go, you are free. Go on now. The sun shines the same on rich and poor. That's the ticket. Have adventures. Make new friends. The world is your oyster. I will leave your door open, and you can leave whenever you want. How does that sound? The telephone. That must be Esther. Yes, I'm coming. This old man's not as spry as he used to be.
Joseph?
Esther?
I'm on my way now. Once I arrive, come down to the street when I sound my horn.
Must we? Really? I am old, Esther. And I do not feel like making such a long journey.
I know, Joseph. For a fossil like you, it is a trek. Take your time. I will be waiting. Have you packed yet?
I really don't know what I should pack, Esther.
Do not worry, Joseph. We made a list together, remember? It should be next to the telephone.
Yes, I have it here. Thank you, Esther. What would I do without you?
Pack your things. Until then, Joseph.
Warm jacket, passport, lucky shoes, grandfather's pocket watch, razor, journal, and maybe my treasured camera. Where should I even begin?
My thought is that this is Esther. I don't think it's a coincidence that the camera focuses on that when he picks up the phone.
My parents on their wedding day. I am glad that they don't have to experience any of what's going on here.
This is the apartment in all its full glory, and it is beautiful.
A landscape by a painter who was always sitting on the bridge. What became of him? I haven't seen him for a while. A living room, a workshop, and a study. A lone wolf's apartment. That has never bothered me. I like being alone. The cabinet of Dr. Caligari. To me, it feels like the darkness is taking over the canvas. All quiet on the Western Front. Playing this movie was a risk, but I did it anyway, even if there was a massive outcry. The cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Whether the frame story of the film is actually for or against a trust in authority will always be a puzzle to me. Bills, bills, bills. I settled them a while ago. Ariane, a Russian girl, by Claude Renie. The adventurous Ariane leads a wild life beyond virtue. Men fall at her feet. She meets Constantine, and both of them try to stop falling in love with each other. Unsuccessfully, I can say that much. I always said to Esther, "Who? The telephone? Is that Esther again?"
It sometimes rings and sometimes doesn't.
When I moved in here, having a telephone was something quite special. Whoever moves in after me will certainly be happy to have it. This little book holds the telephone numbers of my friends and acquaintances. So many of them have already left. A Woman of Paris. Everyone expected another comedy from Chaplin, and then he came out with this deep melodrama. Audiences weren't grateful, unfortunately, so I had to stop showing it much too early. Blonde Venus. The movie is no masterpiece, but La Dietrich wears a gorilla costume, which is something I certainly won't forget. A young writer sent me this screenplay. I liked him, but the script was, never mind. It is terrible, but his passion for writing impressed me.
As someone who has played this game through, that's a nice little point. The author Karl Zielinski, worth remembering.
Leaving the accounts behind won't be too difficult a decision.
Can I rifle through them? No, maybe not.
Nobody needs this paper anymore. The Trial by Franz Kafka. I once met Kafka at Askanischer Hofhotel, and I wanted him to sign my book. Well, it didn't seem like a good time. Sometimes it's better not to meet your idols. The Road Back by Erich Maria Remarque. Soldiers tried to return home after the Great War. Luckily, I was already so old back then that I was spared any of that. A tidy desk is a desk that isn't being worked at. A fake button, just like in the adventure novels. A kleinzig Trick für einen alten Kacker. Ah, there it is. My passport. Yes. And the contracts and folder for the Minerva Lichtspiele. I still remember the day when I first held them in my hands. Let's see how far I get with my passport. The keys to the cinema are inside. I don't know why, but I don't want to leave them behind, even if there's no longer any door to come back to. I am still missing a few items from the list.
Sure is.
The old dishware from my parents' wedding. I have no idea if they're still valuable. I would like to take them with me, but they would never arrive intact.
So sad to have to leave important things.
I don't want to take any of these things. I have a distinguished Pinot Gris from 1928. It isn't kosher, though, but nobody needs to know.
Which is the first hint that this is a Jewish person. A Jewish person in 1933 Berlin.
I took this photograph myself, but I forgot where.
He's an old man now. And that's what it looks like out there. The tree is still there, or at least there's two trees. They're not very tall. There's no tiles over on that side now, and this wall never used to exist. No, this wall does not exist later, like in 2020 there's no wall there. Because this is the window that I had that little girl look out of. Why can't I never remember her name? Was it Delisha?
There's something funny about that clock.
Yes, but I don't know what it is. He keeps saying that. I wonder if that's like something for a later game.
My second home, before the fire. My second home, before the fire. My first cinema ticket. It was Der Raubmord am Spandauer Schifffahrtskanal in 1896, the Edison Theater on Friedrichstraße. I knew straight away that was the life for me. My father as a young man. A little glass of wine here after the last screening, something I held sacred. The end of a good day. Paris, c'est une fête. Plutonia by Vladimir Obruchev. I love Russian adventure novels. Hopefully, I'll also find some in France. My lucky shoes could be in there, but I can't reach. My lucky shoes. Old shoes are always the most comfortable to wear, though they could do with some new soles.
I don't know if that chittering, I suppose it's meant to be kind of authentic for the age.
I'm taking my lucky shoes with me. I'm going to need some luck. What's the next item on the list? She cannot hear me. I've barely moved. How many hours have I spent here in the workshop? For nothing? I have always enjoyed repairing things myself, though. A trip to the moon. Thanks to Méliès, we could set foot on the moon for the very first time. What a sensational movie reel. These contracts are worthless now. Such a mess. The oven has been out of commission ever since I have used it to store my highly flammable treasures. Oh, look. I shouldn't forget this lovely item. There's even some film still left inside. Maybe I can take a picture with it. One last shot. What will I photograph? Wonderful. I'll develop the image once I've set up my laboratory somewhere. What's the next item on the list?
I've got warm jacket, pocket watch, razor and journal. And I have no idea where to find them. But this is...
The first movies were documentaries. The Lumiere brothers, of course, the Skladanovskys, William Dixon. For me, though, there's one person who changed everything. Georges Méliès. He was the first person who understood the power of film. He told stories and transported us to another world.
And here is the street outside.
The SR hoodlums have been in the neighborhood a lot of late. They are becoming more violent. These are spreading faster than the Spanish flu.
There's no TV tower, of course.
There it was. My cinema. Just the sight of it is still difficult to bear even now.
And over there, that lot is a complete house because this is 1933 and it was bombed in 45 or 44 or sometime around there. Hold on, did I miss or remember?
All those years of everyone being entertained and enthralled. But where were they when it went up in flames?
No, not there.
Die große Wette. This fantastic movie plays out in the distant future, the year 2000. It features the great Harry Peel as the Electric Man. What will the world look like in the year 2000?
I really like the way he is. He needs to hurry. Esther's coming to get him. Esther is coming to get him, and because he's an old man, his mind just wanders. He can't rush. He's just constantly...
I will always remember the combination. 1st of December, 1895. That was the day of the first movie screening in Berlin, in Wintergarten. So 1 clockwise.
Ooh.
And then 12 counterclockwise. I actually just wanted to impress a girl. Elsa? Then 18 clockwise. It may have had an unhappy backstory. And then 95 counterclockwise. But the evening will always remain in my memory. There. Grandfather's pocket watch. The watch stopped on the morning of Black Thursday. It was truly a crazy coincidence. The coil spring snapped, but it can surely be repaired again. All right, what's next?
Warm jacket, razor and journal. I have a feeling... I have no idea really. Journal would have been on the desk, right?
I was able to save the projector from the fire. I'd always hoped to repair it someday, that I could maybe make a fresh start. But some things just cannot be fixed, I guess. I'd always hoped to repair it someday, that I could maybe make a fresh start. But some things just cannot be fixed, I guess.
Is the thing that Matilda saw through the door that her mum told her the previous inhabitant had given to them. That I think might just be a game glitch, because I think maybe we were meant to play this one before 45. I'm not sure.
Married Life by David Vogel. A writer falls for a femme fatale. The whole story takes place in Vienna, Austria. Very nice, but not essential.
So, the thing is, I don't think we're going to find a razor here.
Uncle Benjamin, with the twins. A shame we lost contact with each other. tidy desk is a desk that isn't being worked at.
No, not seeing it there, so let's go over here. The razor, there'd be a... See, this is a very different design, having the whole house together. This room...
For 65 years, I had no problem sleeping, and yet I have had many sleepless nights over the last few weeks.
This was Collier's bathroom and kitchen.
This is it, my favorite jacket. Look, the badge from my old employer is still here. It's been an eternity.
This is where things get tricky.
A jacket for cold days. Who knows where this journey will take us? Done. Not much is left on my list.
Razor and journal. I think the journal is the crucial thing, but I don't know where either of these are. The razor could be... Oh, hold on. The bathroom's down here.
For the longest time, I have wanted to take on this door. It has become stiffer and stiffer since I have lived here, and at some point it won't be able to be opened at all. The only joy of leaving things behind is that you also leave behind your unfinished projects. You can't see much in the red light, but it protects the sensitive film. I have loved photography ever since I was young. Ever since I discovered that all a movie projector does is show lots of photos in a row, and that it even uses the same material, it was clear to me that I needed my own gear. But I had to save first. I didn't have any money back then. You can always use a razor, no matter where you go. Here, look, I had completely forgotten. This photograph is from the Great Depression. I had come up with a few things to give people their cinema experience. Movies are especially important when people are going through hard times. A good day starts with a good shave.
This is where it gets tricky. We've still got more stuff to get, but things never fit. There's a real challenge in getting these things in. Okay, let's just take all these out again. I reckon this really does have to go that way. The shoes are really hard things.
Reminders of my old life. Just a few items left.
Yep. And I really don't remember where they are.
The back door is always locked. Only Lieschen uses it for cleaning. Now it's no longer of any use. I have recorded a lot of my thoughts in this journal. It would be a shame to have to leave it. The kitchen was always my favorite room, especially in the mornings when the light would shine in almost magically for a few minutes. It was the perfect environment for writing a few words in my journal. The last letters from Jakob and Elsa. Without them, things just aren't the same here. I no longer have any idea what these keys unlock. But you don't throw keys away. This is not the right key. This one doesn't fit either. The key fits. My old journal. I stopped writing in it after this entry. The most painful day of my life. Oh! They're after me. I have to get out of here, now.
I don't understand what this is. But it won't fit. I've never been able to fit this.
I shouldn't bring this. It takes up far too much space. Or maybe I should? No, that would be absurd.
There's no way, unfortunately. Oh no. Unfortunately, I can't.
Esther, that must be her. Hopefully no one noticed. I'll be down soon, Esther. Give me a few more minutes. Let's go, quickly.
Mr. Liebermann, Sturmabteilung, Auxiliary Police. Your neighbor has complained about the constant disturbance of the peace. Open the door.
I can't get around them. It's a trap. I must take the back exit.
Mr. Liebermann. I can hear you, Mr. Liebermann. Open the
Quick, let's get out of here. Move faster, Josef, before they break the door down. that's that. Goodbye, my old apartment. Or farewell. Tu sei fenos adrako, Wato me shubu b'nei adam yababon. Tu sei fenos adrako, Wato me shubu b'nei adam. Rai 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 rai. Ya ba 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 ba. Ay ra 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 ra. Ya ra 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 ra. Ya ra 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 ra.
I'm pretty sure if you can move fast enough and know what you're doing, you can fit that other item that's on the table. I haven't figured out how, and there's not much time at that point, and I do think that particular one is so good. It's
Did
so
Joseph make it in
tense.
the end?
Joseph made it. He traveled all the way to Paris with Esther. He then later migrated to the United States on the trail of Hollywood movie stars.
He had his lucky shoes with him.
That's something, at least, and a ton of memories.
Thankfully, those times are over.
And now we have been chatting for ages. I need to get back to work.
Look here, Dad. Dad?
Dilara. I'm going to remember that, Dilara.
Wow, that must have belonged to Bismarck the bird. Or the great-great-great-grandchild of Bismarck the bird. It played for me. It played for Dad.
Yeah, that one is quite a good one, and I think in many ways it would be good to do that one before the other, because you really feel the impact of the destruction that you see in 1945. But I never have. I've always done the 1945 one first. And he's talking about this. The screwdriver is right there in the room that you get the instructions, so it does make sense. I wonder if I can go on there. No. But yes, the business of the projector that's sitting in that room that the tenant gave the next family who came in, I'm pretty sure that they just requisitioned it. Joseph left in 1933. After that, the apartment was taken over. It was requisitioned. All of his belongings just became the possession of the next people who were benefiting from their plunder, from the plunder they were doing. And look at this. That was Joseph's bedroom. Yes, that was Joseph's bedroom, and Collier's kitchen and bathroom, I think. And now it's a way through.
Look how quickly you can get from one room to another now.
Yep, Collier's kitchen and bathroom. So they've taken out the door. There was a door somewhere there, must have been, because they had separate doors. One door was removed.
This is a really nice room too, Dad. Surprise! One Daddy special coming up.
But you meant well.
For you.
Thank you.
it looks nice. It's a lovely space. I don't know that I necessarily agree with painting everything white. I mean, I'm very fond of wood trim, and I think it's a shame to just make it perfect
Does
white.
all of this have to go, Dad?
Yep, everything. Just close it out.
See if I can get them all.
Ugh. I knew the cinema was somewhere down there. That's where Lou threw the paper planes from. There used to be a house there.
Just like up there. That giant tree. It might be 2 trees. It's hard
I want to
tell.
do something.
Wow.
That's got to be a toad lily.
This place has come together beautifully. I didn't actually flush the toilet in Joseph's house, but you can in Joseph's time.
I'll take care of the food.
What can I do with the bowl? Where's my father gone? Oh, he's in the other room, isn't he?
Do you think people wanted us to find these things?
Some of them maybe. It's coincidence for the others. Just like all the stuff from the attic. Can you help me throw them into the chute?
I can't believe we're throwing a globe away. Took me ages when I first played this to figure out what I was doing. That's Collier's tiller.
Oh, Dad, look.
Collier's pots.
Bad. Get rid of the old stuff.
I don't even know what's in there.
Good.
Oops.
Excellent, Froggy.
Soup. Quite enjoy this, even though I think in the real
All that
world
has to go now.
I'd be very curious
What is
about
that?
what was in it. Ashtray. We're throwing out what? I think we're throwing out books. That's awful. 2 typewriters.
What is that funny thing?
That's an old typewriter. That's how people used to write. Give it a go.
But it's not even plugged in. Does it have a battery?
It works without electricity. A little like stamping.
Can I write a story with it?
You can use it to write anything.
Maybe an adventure, a true legend. You know, before, you used to make up a story for me every night.
Yeah, to help you fall asleep. But that got a bit exhausting for me after a while.
Can we do that again? Every night? Please, please.
You come up with something. You're already in the 2nd grade.
Okay. So, this typewriter once belonged to a great author. No, an astronaut.
Maybe both can be true.
$1967.
You know what, Antonia? This looks pretty good so far. Well, for the 5th draft. If I could just keep my eyes open for another hour or 2. Maybe then I'd manage to rewrite the beginning again. Especially with all those wonderful suggestions from up on high. No time like the present. The cosmonaut was ready to set forth into an unknown world.
This bit, I'm never quite sure of this particular thing. It's a great idea, like the storyline is great, but all we do
As her
here
crew
is
was
just...
stuck on the surface of the moon, she had no option but to pilot her ship.
I mean, we're just sort of tapping keys and this comes out whatever you tap. I kind of wish we could actually do
We should
some
probably
typing of
decide on
our
a
own.
name for that spaceship.
Although, what she types is sort of integral to this story. We do have these moments.
The space cruiser Meteor, to her destination on her own. It carried her farther and farther away from the sun and so far away from the blue planet. I'll leave it like that for now. I can always change it later if I need to. In the 6th or 16th pass. She was ready to lead humanity into a new era. Her destination was the planet Saturn, so distant, so lonely, and yet surrounded by billions of larger and smaller particles that cause its rings to shimmer in mysterious colors. The signal that originated from there had been puzzling humanity for 6 years.
This goes on a bit.
She looked at the photograph in her hand. It was the last group photo of the crew, taken on Earth before the blast-off. There's still 2 possibilities for the backstory. Both would work, but what would the publishing authority prefer? She felt as if an eternity had passed. With tears in her eyes, she remembered the unfortunate fate of Chief Engineer Liu Yaping, whose body was saturated with deadly radiation as she aligned the forward shield. She would see this mission through to its end, if not for the people of Earth, then for the comrades who had been forced to stay behind. Phew, it's a lot of repetition. I'm sure some readers will be grateful for the summary. A quick break might be in order.
It is cool to look outside. We've got a crane, we've got over there in that vacant lot, there's a heap going on. I can't quite tell what it is. Little shed, trees. Lots of cranes everywhere. I guess the city is being rebuilt in 1967. That building's still got its damage or whatever it is.
The Russian authors have got the hang of it. My first book, Change, is almost 5 years old. Although, Standstill would have been more appropriate after the publishing authority had gone through it. But it was an achievement to have published anything.
At which point I would like to point out her name is Antonia Zelensky, and as I pointed out before, there was, in Yosef's timeline in 1933, he had that script by a Carl Zelensky, which he didn't think all that much of.
If I hadn't bumped into the physics students in the library, the whole story would be a sloppy mess. Sometimes I wish I never signed this contract. Did I really smoke them all? Mom was always so proud of Dad's achievements. I always wondered whether she even really liked his books.
I find that kind of interesting. There she is in the back, kind of like the afterthought.
Why do I have all these old tombs from the great Carl G. Zelensky laying around?
There he is himself, Carl G. Zelensky.
I'm quite proud of the story structure. The plot is relatively complex, and it's still accessible. Huh? What? Stay calm. You're just a bit tired.
Warning, warning. Pilot to the bridge. Interstellar objects in close range.
I think it's really cool that she's got, like, this would be like Mirko's bedroom and Yosef's study, like study lounge, and a room we couldn't get into in the other timelines. But in this one, this is the main lounge room, and this just looks like it would always have been designed this way. It's pretty cool. Something typing on its own.
Odd. Let's see. What happened? The cosmonaut had almost left the asteroid belt. The last few rocks streaked past dangerously close to the ship. She had to take action.
Activated the...
Computer, activate the ray guns. Fire!
Confirm. Activating ray guns.
Weapons that fire pure energy? Would humanity have not figured stuff out a long time ago with these? Well, that was a little too easy. This needs to be something more intense to make the danger more palpable. Another asteroid approached the ship. It was on a direct collision course.
Computer, full power to the maneuvering thrusters.
Confirmed. Redirecting power to the maneuvering thrusters.
I wonder if something like this might be possible someday. It's certainly conceivable. At the farthest edge of the asteroid field, the cosmonauts saw her long-awaited destination.
This one is such a strange thing, but you're still just sitting here
The
mashing
planet Saturn
the
was
keys.
in sight. Come on. A little more detail will bring this scene to life.
And as somebody who writes myself, I just find this writing really bad.
The view was breathtaking. Revealed before her was a pristine, brightly shining.
But I guess it's meant to be. No, we're going with azure blue.
Azure blue sphere hanging peacefully against the darkness of the cosmos. The view reminded her of the sky above the Baltic Sea on a clear summer's day.
I mean, 1967, that was the prime era for very purple sci-fi. Like, it's kind of appropriate, but just a bit. First draft.
How far had she traveled? That's powerful. That shows that her feelings are still a little melancholy, despite the importance of her mission.
Got a bit tumultuous.
The surface of the planet was turbulent and agitated. Its atmosphere was being torn apart by storms. I hope my readers will be able to imagine any of that. And now, an exciting lead into the next chapter to keep my readers hooked.
Computer, establish contact via radio wave telegraphy. Use the origin of that strange signal as the destination coordinates.
Hailing frequencies opened.
The communication model emitted a signal.
We've done it. It sounds like someone's trying to make contact. This is a space cruiser meteor heading to planet Saturn. To whom am I speaking? Come in.
This is Bulow. I hope I'm not disturbing your work too much.
Yes. Comrade Bulow. Hello. I was actually just about to take a break. Oh, the new revision is almost complete.
Yes, exactly. About your novel, hang on. The one called...
Yes. I'll go through it slowly so you can write it down. Silent signals from the planet Saturn.
Yes, exactly. Of course, that's the name. Yeah, it's a powerful title. So about the new draft. I've just come out of a meeting with the publishing authority.
Yes?
Unfortunately, there are still one or two issues. You know what they're like. It's nothing personal.
Yeah, I know.
First of all, regarding the main character and the idea of a female cosmonaut, think about character leads like Yuri Gagarin. People just relate more to male protagonists.
Well, I think...
And then we thought about it a little and wondered whether contacting an alien civilization by radio might also not just be very reckless. Imagine what would happen if there was an enemy of the state on the other end.
But it all revolves around that. That's the core of the entire story. And the book is almost finished now.
It will only be finished once the approval procedure's complete. Zelinsky, you have to deliver now.
Yes.
Maybe you could contact your father, Carl.
Because he did everything you told him to? But the book is almost finished.
Excuse me? Miss Zelinsky?
That's fine, Comrade Bulow. I'll take care of it without my father. What a disaster. They want me to change everything. How am I even supposed to manage that? I have to pull myself together now, or else everything will blow up in my face.
Attention, fluctuation in the fabric of space-time. Danger, danger.
Back to the bridge.
This is the bit that I like. I feel like it's just a marvellous bit of metaphor, like perhaps in your face, but I don't mind that. Just the notion that this whole spaceship and her story is...
The space cruiser Meteor had run into massive turbulence. It almost seemed like the fabric that made up interplanetary space was being torn apart.
This ship is her story, being torn apart.
The changes are tearing everything apart. They want me to ask for Dad's input because he always did what they said, but we'll get there. Broken. Nothing's working anymore. No chance.
Pages, it took
The
me
maintenance
ages to
hatch.
find this
What a
hatch.
mess.
And isn't that cool? Like, that
Right.
is... Yeah.
Stay calm.
We're back.
We can do it. What did Bulo say? No female protagonist. Contact is too dangerous. Where do I start? What if I just changed? If I change the type of signal and how it's received on Earth in Chapter 12, maybe the publishing authority will see that this is the ideal image of socialist species. But if I change that, it will obviously impact everything that happens later. Oh geez, the simplest chain reaction, a cascade, a butterfly effect. Maybe it would be better to go to Chapter 5 and change the focus here. I was never keen on the orbiting of the moon anyway. The crew instead had problems with... The crew could be attacked by capitalistic coursers, pirates under the flag of the class trader. They steal money from our heroes, and that would also give me an explanation for the lack of fuel. Will that help though? The core of the story is supposed to be about something completely different. Come on, Antonia. Let your imagination run wild again. What if we spice up the story with real science fiction elements like... The story begins in an underwater laboratory. A lone scientist, a sea amoeba, a great love story. It's only getting more complicated. Don't let it drive you crazy, Antonia. Concentrate on the core of the story. The core. It needs to be something even more powerful. Everything is possible. There are no limits. The greatest threat to the crew is... The sun could become a black hole, swallowing everything up. Light, energy, time itself. And that's obviously a metaphor for the insatiability of the ruthless capitalistic system. And obviously, the sea amoeba makes a strong appearance here. There. I wouldn't need to explain much more than that. That would solve almost all my problems. Oh no. But then, is that still the core of my story? I think I've almost cracked this nut. I have to go further. Another stroke of genius.
I don't like either of these ideas.
The hull of the spaceship consisted of an alloy made up of Parmigiano Reggiano and that nasty processed cheese, due to its eternal shelf life. Only a special, changeable material like this could protect the spaceship from the forces of the black hole. That makes total sense. That's it. Just brilliant. I think this idea is now complete garbage. I'm officially at the end of my rope. I'm breaking more than I'm fixing at the moment. What would Dad do now? I want to tell a story in which people surpass their own abilities. That's the core of the story. I need to keep a cool head and think. Coffee. Yes, I need coffee. My last chance. Do I even have any left?
I was curious about this, what she's wearing.
Fortunately, the essential themes will hold the story together. The first female cosmonaut in space. Excellent inspiration for my story.
Wonder what that is now. Grins Kino, I don't know what that means. We can't go in these other rooms because they're all spaceship rooms.
Where's the coffee machine again?
This is good, this bit.
Every story has an ending. Like this one, for example. This would be the part of the ship that was seized by the space pirates and sold in the West. I can't get Bulow's comments out of my head. Sold in the West. Every story has an ending.
Come on.
Like this one, for example.
It's not
This would be
opening.
the part of the
All
ship
right.
that was seized by the space pirates and sold in the West. Who designed these endless hallways? It's such a waste of material. Bulow and all his changes. I guess I'll have to fight to have a female protagonist in my own book. There were originally 7 of us. This was never intended to be a solo mission. We didn't have a xenolinguist on board for nothing after all. If we really do happen to come across any alien life, I'm sure Professor Palemba will be very annoyed about the missed opportunity. Marta would definitely know what to do. Marta is on the trail of the greatest mysteries of the universe. Like why she lost more frequently when playing 4-dimensional chess in space than she did back on Earth. It certainly won't get any easier without a doctor and a cook on board. Jose doesn't just know how to remove an appendix, he also knows how to prepare pufferfish. We were all terrified that he'd mixed up the procedures and instruments for them at some point or another. Liu saved us all. For that reason alone, I have to see this mission through to its end. Heike Jung, the pilot. That's me. My quarters are locked, like all the others.
Miss Zelinsky, this is Bulow. The publishing authority still has a few questions regarding the commander of the ship.
The black hole.
You see, the Commodore is a capitalist Westerner, an American even. That's obviously an issue.
Gibson? Yeah, but he moved to Berlin with his parents as a child.
We know, but it's too confusing. Make it neater. Wouldn't it be better if he had grown up in a socialist sister country?
But don't you think that?
A socialist sister country. Come on, Zelinsky, you're an author. Just pick one. Can't be that hard.
Of course, the Commodore could be a good party activist.
The Commodore was first and foremost a Soviet patriot.
Wonderful and excellent suggestion.
And instead of hamburgers, he loves Solyanka. How exciting.
Just like always, well, I could care less. Coffee. I wanted to grab coffee. It'll clear my head. Whether
Strangest sight in
American,
the
Russian, or
world.
Martian, the Commodore is still a role model for the crew, if not for the entirety of humanity itself.
This, I could care less. Like, if you could care less, then you are caring to some extent. I'd never heard that until the last few years. I always knew I couldn't care less, which means I'm already caring the tiniest bit I can. There is no way to care less. Such a strange thing. Oh, it says green. We're going green. I think I'm still on my way to the coffee though.
It is so frustrating when you know what's right, but no one else believes you.
Give me a coffee sign, guys. Oh.
Something doesn't seem right here, but I can't make heads or tails of it.
The cosmonaut had not only lost control of her story, but also of her own mind. The cosmonaut had not only lost control of her story, but also of her own mind.
Ah, now we've got some coffee signs. Maybe they were there already.
Uh-huh. Coffee is this way.
Bulu again. Just one more thing. The spacesuits for the crew are described in Chapter 4. The way you've described them, it's just, I can't get the image of the suits from those silly American films out of my head.
Excuse me? What?
It would be bad if other readers also think of an American. I mean, in terms of appearance. Because of the spacesuit. We have to do something to help them there. I mean, you, as the author, have to do something. Look, the suit that Yuri Gagarin wore, that had a special something. What's it called again?
Aesthetic?
Yes, exactly. Aesthetic. Very apt. Goodbye.
It's like being in a madhouse. I think I'm beginning to understand how Dad must have felt.
The cosmonaut wore her comfortable SK-6 spacesuit, the bright orange of the outer material manufactured by tireless workers' hands. Gave her a sense of safety and security. It reminded her of home. A good feeling. How is anyone supposed to form a clear thought when they're constantly being interrupted? Ugh, creepy.
Which way now? We have no coffee idea here. Hold on, have we been here before? I have a feeling we have... Oh, we're alright. Coffee, coffee. Coffee, coffee. Yeah, I think I've gone in a circle though. I should have gone straight ahead there. Which way to coffee? There's stuff here. Hold on, I thought we were here.
My quarters are locked, like all the others.
Okay, we have been here, but I don't remember those books. Take a book, leave a book. They're probably there. Let's turn left.
Hello, this is Bulo. You're sure on the phone a lot when you should be writing. Ecology?
Sorry?
Ecology is a contemporary topic, and we think it would work really well for your story. Clean air is really wonderful. The publishing authority agrees. Do you think we can squeeze that in?
Air? Of course. Actually, there is simply no air to breathe on board the ship, hence the spacesuits.
Our wonderful SK-6s. Yes, we spoke about those. Have you spoken to your father yet?
Well, we agreed that I would work it out myself, didn't we?
Oh yes, apologies. My mistake. So, fresh air, yes, write it in.
Impossible. Oh, whatever. It's illogical anyway, but maybe the ship could just have... The constant fresh air on board reminded the cosmonaut of her faintly remembered walks through the forests around Berlin. It's just complete nonsense.
That is fantastic. I don't know if it's the way to coffee, but like, who wouldn't go through that? That is... I don't think that's going to open because it's red dots. We've now got plants. Lots of plants.
That looks really inviting. I could imagine spending time here, with a coffee.
So if we can find the coffee...
Maybe what they're saying is right. Maybe I'm the problem, and the way I see the world is completely wrong.
Here are our, I presume, SK-36s?
My beautiful SK-6 has a long
SK-6.
and rich history. It's a good thing that Bulu and I were able to clarify this. The spacesuits can stay.
Coffee went the wrong way. Let's go find the coffee. This way, perhaps? Doesn't that look beautiful?
How comfortable. I could lie down, just for a second. Bula will never find me here. Bula will never find me here.
This is right. But apparently we're not. Because it's not actually letting me lie down there, even if it would be nice. Wasn't this the way? Okay, that way to coffee. So... I've lost the coffee. Which way to coffee? You're not going to tell me. But I went down this way. I did go down this way. And that's not it, because that's locked. Because it's red. This is red as well, so that's... Coffee is getting very hard to find. Obviously I've got to go back, sort of the way I was coming. It's not up there, it's not down there, it's over here somewhere.
Was Dad ever as conflicted as this when he was writing? He always looked so happy with his career from the outside.
No clue? No little hint? Just gonna let me wander around with no idea. Cool looking ship.
Hello again, Miss Zelinsky. I forgot to mention something. In Chapter 9, there's reference to the ship being armed with these nuclear warheads.
That's right. They're used in Chapter 12 and...
We know. Only do you not think that these days, I mean, just the word nuclear triggers some pretty strong feelings? I once had a similar discussion with your father.
Yes, and in the future, these once deadly weapons are used peacefully and demonstrate how humanity as a whole has evolved. It's important, Bulo. Bulo? Are you still there?
Cut the nuclear weapons, or the publishing authority will cut your book.
Despite sufficient capacity, the ship obviously did not carry any nuclear warheads. Where you may have once found deadly weapons, you would now only find the socialist drive for world peace and boundless love. All of these changes are a nightmare. I have to focus and keep the core of my message. I need a break. And then I'll start a respectable career, I think. Finally! The coffee room.
That is pretty cool out there.
From here, you can see the space cruiser's best side.
It does look amazing. It's quite the coffee
there
machine.
There it is. My coffee. Black and delicious. Ah, just what I needed. You can feel the coffee enter your brain's pathways and deliver nothing but goodness.
She's not a healthy person. Like all that smoking, all that coffee, all this not sleeping. I get that these are the last days. The book is nearly ready to go.
We often sat here together with the crew and just had fun. No more rounds of doppelkopf late into the night, I guess. No more rounds of doppelkopf late into the night, I guess.
So I guess they're her friends that
A
she
little
hasn't
boost of
seen.
energy was exactly what I needed. Back to work. Bulo and the publishing authority are a disaster, but I'm not giving up yet. The core of the story is damaged, but it's still there. Nothing has been in vain, as long as I keep the core of my message.
Miss Linsky, I have good news. The publishing authority has suggested that we get your father in on the project.
Sorry?
Your father is an accredited author. The publishing authority trusts him. He could help us. He could especially help you.
They want his name, don't they? He'll be the one on the book. What about me? I wrote this book.
All I'm saying is the publishing authority's patience has its limits. They could still reject the book. And, if I'm being honest, the decision's already been made. The manuscript is already with your father.
Excuse me? What?
I know it isn't easy, but I'm sure that this is the right path forward now.
Oh, of course.
Fantastic. We're in agreement then.
Bulo! You've got to be kidding me. This is bullshit. I'm sure I can persuade Dad to keep his hands off it, but then they'll make me write loop after loop until nothing is left of the core at all. If the core of the story is really this important to me, then Dad can put his name on the book, and maybe it will get through that way. But then, what about me? That's KARL. It stands for Kinetic Artificial Repair Lead. It's a maintenance robot. We'd be better off leaving this know-it-all in retirement. I mean, sleep mode.
KARL.
We'd be better off leaving this know-it-all in retirement. I mean, sleep mode. These so-called improvements to the text have completely destabilized the core. I have to intervene before it all blows up in our faces. These so-called improvements to the text have completely destabilized the core. I have to intervene before it all blows up in our faces. I'm not actually trained to mess about with the core at all. If I had just left my chief engineer in the story, instead of sacrificing her to align the forward shield, she always had her optronic coupler with her. Let's see.
Miss Zelinsky, we have to talk about the technology on board the ship again. We think the designations for some of the tools are a little too elevated. Factory workers, farmers, they shouldn't feel excluded as readers.
But we're talking about a spaceship here, not a trabant.
We don't think that the main character necessarily has to have an academic background, right?
Understood. What if instead they were... a simple farmer from the countryside?
Someone from industry would be even better. A simple worker, for example.
I like that. Last time I played this game, I chose the worker, and
wonderful. Goodbye.
And he said,
what should I
no,
use
a farmer would be better. So it doesn't matter what you choose there. He wants to do the opposite.
Whatever you want, Bulo. Fortunately, advanced socialist technology during the era of space travel had remained robust and accessible. She had to redirect the energy to stabilize the core. There were 2 switches behind the hatch. One of the main systems had to be deactivated. She could choose between the life support system and the lighting. The cosmonaut didn't waste much time choosing. And decided that switching off the lights would be the less effective to redirect energy to the core. Thankfully, I know the engine room like the back of my hand. It looked to her like the core might be calming. That should be enough to stabilize the core for now, but it won't hold forever. I need to find a solution so that I can safely complete the mission.
Warning. Core status critical.
Damn it.
Recommending emergency activation of the KARL repair unit.
Activate the KARL repair unit? Please don't.
I feel so sorry for her. She obviously wants to do this on her own without her father. She was obviously overlooked all her life. You can see it in that picture. That's what is going on there. But she has no choice.
I know Bulo wants me to ask Dad for help, but I have to do it myself. Activating KARL would mean admitting failure. Everyone says I'm lucky to be the daughter of such a famous author. It's just that the author in question is a stooge of the system. I will lose my shit if this telephone rings again.
She says after it rings.
Comrade Bulo, please let me work.
Tony, hello, it's me, Dad. I wanted to see how you're doing with all the chaos.
Dad, this is a really bad time to call.
I just wanted to ask one thing. Was it your idea to send me the manuscript, or was it Bulo's?
Honestly, it was Bulo's idea.
That's what I thought. Bulo, you dog.
Dad, listen. I have to do this myself. This has to be something meaningful. And even if I'm not sure how right now, I have to do this on my own.
I've read it. What you wrote. The manuscript. It's really good.
Sorry?
It has so much to say about us. About everything. It has a true core. But they'll never let it through with your name on it. You know that. That's why you're out of time.
The core is already severely damaged. It risks destroying the entire ship.
But how are we going to complete the mission without the core?
What do you think is the most important thing about this mission? You will have to make a decision.
I want to send a message to the world. I have to protect the core.
That's what makes you different from me. Where I caved, you stood strong. I'm proud of you. That means you'll need my help. I'll save the core for you, but you will not witness the end of the mission. All of this, nobody will be able to take it away from you. You will change something.
This is something that I was really hoping people would talk about when they talked about this story, this game. Because at this point, like, she's basically lost. She's had to admit defeat. She's got a good work. Her father has said it's a good work. But she cannot finish. She's got to just let him put his name on it. And now, in the real world, like in her real world, she's just stood on the desk. And she is about to open that window. And out there, like what we're seeing here, see, she's on her desk. So what we are seeing there she's on her desk, she's opened the window. I think, like, this is it, right? She didn't go on. This is her checking out of existence. This is... Nobody's mentioned this, but, like, what else could it be? There she is.
Was it ever easy?
The core cannot be saved anymore. You have to release it from its anchoring. Then we will eject it into space through the airlock.
The core? That's the reason I'm even here.
The story core, her core, the fact that she has been living on cigarettes and coffee and no sleep for so long. The fact that she was clearly losing her grip on reality and getting thrown into this. And Bulo and his constant inability to accept her ideas. She's on the windowsill. The next step she takes is going to end it for her. I'm pretty sure that's what's happened. She definitely climbed over that desk.
That's the wrong console. I need to get to the other side. That's the wrong console. I need to get to the other side.
After all the hard work I did for you, you have no idea what the discussions I've had over here in the background. Certainly wouldn't want to be in my shoes. Have you thought about showing them to your father? Carl, your father. Maybe the project would be of interest to him. I've already sent him the manuscript. Strong protagonist, more transparent.
All these lines playing in her head, the things that they've been told. So I think it's over now, I think.
It contains everything that was important to me.
Warning. Maintenance hatch to core is unlocked.
The anchoring has been released. The core is now free.
I'm sorry. Believe me. I understand what this means to you.
I know what I have to do.
The cosmonaut.
Let it go.
Why? Why did it have to come to this?
You were doomed from the start. It's always the same. It is no coincidence. It's their system. They wear you down until nothing is left of you or of what was once important to you.
Yes.
But your book will certainly be a success. With any luck, people will read what you've created. And then you can write another book, and you'll say to yourself, this time, I will keep my core. No one will interfere this time. And maybe this time, you will succeed.
Did you succeed?
No, but maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time.
We cannot give up.
When you make up a story, you're always taking on a bit of a person you're telling the story about. This is really how it is.
The novel Silent Signals from the Planet Saturn was published the same year. At some point, the publishing authority had nothing more to complain about.
You just have to keep at it, and sometimes you also need a little bit of luck.
I like it. Antonia wrote lots of other stories. She showed that you don't get anything for free and that sometimes you have to fight for your freedom.
That's great. And it's true too.
I like to put the necklace in the box.
That looks great.
For Tony.
The best-selling author.
What a wonderful collection. An entire century in one box. I'd like to keep it now.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
Okay, so I'm still really puzzled by that last one. It honestly looked to me, she stepped out the window. She gave up, and then she's lying there. She's lying there on the ground with him looking down on her. But this was the child story. And she then said that Tony wrote a lot more later on. But did she write later on, or were her already existing works published later on? She is just a child, and yeah. Anyway, I find that really interesting. I don't know if that's how it's meant to be, but it was pretty certain to me that that's how it went. That's how it ended. And that quite potentially is absolutely not what was intended.
Come on, let's go.
I also feel that this is, like, it's very much an indictment of socialism, like very heavily against it. And I think it's interesting because, like, to me, all the things, the critique of socialism applies equally well to other forms of government, and very, very much to capitalism.
You coming, Froggy?
As somebody who writes, I feel it is very
Come on,
hard
I'll show you something.
to be truly artistic as a writer under
I found the
capitalism.
perfect hidey hole.
It fits perfectly.
Wait. I have an idea. We should hide something of our own here in the apartment too.
Oh yeah! Do you mean someone will find my wall drawings eventually?
Definitely. Shall we?
I'm starving.
What do you want to eat?
Ice cream?
A scoop of ice cream isn't real food.
2 then?
That's not what I meant. And where did you see an ice cream parlor around here?
An ice cream from my store would be okay too.
Nah, a scoop of ice cream from an ice cream parlor would be better.
Alright then, you've convinced me.
And you'll be getting broccoli flavor.
That's not funny, Dad.
We still need to gather up all the tools you threw down the chute.
If you were an ice cream, what flavor would you be?
I'd be stracciatella.
Why that one?
'Cause at the first glance, I look classic and relaxed, and then bang, lots of little surprises.
It is nice to see this
So you're
apartment when
boring
it's
with
finished.
a bit of fun?
I'm reliable but not predictable.
I think you're like vanilla.
Hey, don't ruin the surprise.
But that's such a typical dad flavor.
And what are you?
Smurf ice cream with colorful sprinkles and cookie dough.
Chaotic, loud, and sweet as sugar.
Okay.
And no one knows what's in it.
A mystery then, just like me.
And that is the end of that. So what I'm going to put this one up, even though, like, it's very hard to actually have any commentary through this one. Because they talk all the time, because they don't really give you a break to stand there and look around and say what you want to say about things. And, like, the only way really is to pause, but then the things aren't in front of me that I want to talk about. And I don't know how this one will go. I've played through a lot of others and recorded them and was able to say a lot more about the others just because of the spaces in the gameplay. But this one had to come first because this one started it all off for me. I did enjoy it. I do feel that it's got its political slant, and I don't usually play games. Like, I'm happy to play games with politics in them, but I kind of like the politics to sit in the background or give you a chance to sort of feel out different politics, whereas this I feel was particularly one side. But that's not an issue. Like, the game is still great, and I love the apartment, and I really like the storylines. I think it's brilliant to have all these stories that occur in this one place. I'd like to see more, a DLC or an upgrade. I feel like they could add more. They've got scope there if they want to put in so many more stories. I'd love the story of the people who painted up the apartment, who maybe they were squatters, I don't know. There's so many more time periods you could include, so many more perspectives you could have. I don't know how long Josef actually lived there, but chances are there was a time before him. These 4 were all about war or about political oppression of some sort, and I feel like you could have other themes in there. You could just have themes on, like, marriage or birth or money, different types of struggles that people had living in the apartment. Pretty cool though. I'm glad I played it, and that last one, it still looked to me like her life ended there. I feel like that's odd because that was the child story. Delara, that was her story. So how does that work? She wouldn't have seen it that way, and she clearly didn't because she talked about Tony writing a lot more stories later on. Which also has me wondering if there is this semi-notion that these really are the people that live there. They're not just making up stories for each other. Because how could a child like that come up with something so incredible as that space story with the analogies that it holds in it? It's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. Anyway, that was it. So I will leave it there. I don't think I had really much commentary to add to this one, but as I said, it started it off. It belongs. If I do put this up on YouTube, thank you for watching.